Well, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a joy to have you guys. I am so glad that I'm able to get to do this with you guys. It would be great to do this in person, but virtual is just as good. So, welcome. My name is Dr. Ryan, and I'm with Vallejo Health and Wellness. And here at Vallejo, my main focus is kids' health. And that's what I really do want to talk to you guys about today. And today I'm going to give you the 3 secrets that not many people are talking about kids' health. And that's what I want to convey to you guys. So, let's get into it. So, our first secret that I do want to talk about is your mindset about your kids' health. Now, what I do want to do is I want to give you guys an example before we jump into that mind shift that I'm going to give you guys. So, think about you are in front of a dandelion field, and not many people enjoy dandelions. They're a weed. So, what do? Especially for my yard, I do want to get rid of them. So if you go around and just start plucking the tops off of the dandelions, it's not going to do much because a few days later or even a week later, the dandelion heads are going to be right back where they were again. So that didn't work. So let's say you get a little bit smarter and you walk around and you pull the dandelions up by the root. And you said, ha! I got that dandelion, so that dandelion got thrown away. But the truth is, the thought that not many people have is that field, that yard, is not well yet. It still is able to have seeds being poured into it and other weeds that are able to crop up because the field itself isn't healthy. So how do we stop the dandelions? How do we stop the weeds from popping up into the yards? We have to look to the health of the yard first. So when we do that, we want to look at the grass. So if the grass is here, the dandelions are able to pop up and the weeds are able to pop up in between it. So what we want to do is we want to get that grass nice and thick, nice and lush, so that those dandelions don't even have a chance to take root or even grow in that field. Same way with your health. Yeah, we do want to be able to take the viruses, take the bacteria, take the sickness away, but if you just take it away without replacing it or replenishing the biome, you're allowing yourself to be attacked by other things as well. So, first off, I want you to focus on replenishing, getting that good, healthy system in place so the viruses and the bacteria don't even stand a chance to attacking you or your son or daughter. Now, the next shift that I do want to talk about before we really get into it is this mindset of running away versus chasing. Now, for Marco Polo, it's a fun game, and there's this one blind person searching around trying to find the people around them. And what is the task of the other people? It's to run away. Now, those people running away, they get to run in any direction they want to run in. Now, for some kids, they run into a direction that actually gets them into trouble. They don't run into a good spot and they get caught. So, what I want you guys to think about is chasing after something. Chasing after health. Now, when instead of running away, you can run away in any different directions in your health just to stay away from something. Now, especially during today's culture, we have the coronavirus, but we also have influenza, we have other cold viruses as well. And so when we really think about like this Marco Polo example, there isn't just one thing trying to search us out. There's multiple different things trying to search out for people. And so if you are just trying to run away, you actually might run away right into another sickness. So what I want you to do is, instead of thinking about running away from disease, running away from sickness, I want you guys to chase after health. Chasing after health does a few different things for us. Number one, it gives hope. When you guys chase after health, it is something where you are now in control of what happens to your body. If you guys are focusing on eating, focusing on replenishing the biome in your system, helping the immune system boost, you have a peace of mind that you're able to fight against those different diseases that are coming up into this world. So, also, when you are only focusing on running away, that causes fear into people. You're always looking over your shoulder. You're stressed out. And to be honest, fear can actually shut down and paralyze people from doing anything. And that is one thing I do not want you to do about your health, or even trying to instill this into your kids' health as well. I want you guys to chase after health. Now, I do want to say, this mindset is first coming from you, the parent. It is definitely a monkey see, monkey do, and your kids are very perceptive of how you are living your life. To give you an example, when I was a kid, I was over at my friend's house, and he had this weird chew, and he always chewed out the one side of his mouth, and I thought that was always a little odd, but then I saw his mom eat as well, and she had the same exact chew. She would eat on one side of her mouth. So your kids are picking up habits, your kids are picking up how you talk, your kids are picking up how you think, how you interact with people, and same thing for here. You guys are the ones that are going to be outputting your mindset onto your kids about health. So I would stray away from giving your kids fear. Like, hey, instead of trying to stay away from viruses, we do want to be conscious of the viruses. We don't want to get the viruses, but a better option is to, hey, let's focus on health. Let's focus on boosting our immune system, what we eat, how we exercise, how we relieve stress. Let's focus on that so that the viruses aren't even an issue. A while ago, I got to talk to a gentleman who owned a doggy obedience school. And he was the one that was teaching the class, and I got a chance to ask him a couple of questions. And I asked him, I'm like, hey, are there any dogs or any type of dogs that are just too rambunctious, who are unruly and who can't be trained? And kind of the thought process behind that question was like, does my dog have hope? And the gentleman, he kind of paused and he kind of sighed, and he's like, Ryan, I get that question all the time. And he asked me a kind of a rebuttal question. He asked me, he's like, Ryan, do you know who doggy obedience schools are for? And I'm like, well, it's for my dog. Like, I come and I bring my dog with me, and you teach the dog how to be obedient and how to train the dog. And he looks at me, kind of giggled, and he's like, nope. Doggy obedience schools are for the owners. And what the owner does is the owner learns how to set boundaries, how to work with the dog, how to give victories, how to give treats, how to punish, how to discipline, and so it's teaching the owner how to create this boundary for the dog to come in and live. And he's like, yep, there are going to be some dogs that are going to be a little more unruly, but if you stick with it and you continue to give those boundaries, and those dogs will eventually fall into place and obey. Same thing here with kids. Parents, if you have this mindset of chasing after health, and you talk with your kids about not having fear, but hey, we're going to instill this mindset of health, eventually your kids are going to have that same mindset. All right, let's jump into secret number 2. And secret number 2 is a very obvious one. It is being proactive. It's the actual what can you do step of your health. Now, same thing here, parents. What I want to make sure you guys are doing is that you are being proactive in your health, because the kids are going to watch and the kids are going to understand that if you have it, they need to have it as well. So let's jump into the first thing that you can do with being proactive in your kids' health, and that is supplements. And supplements are actually really easy to do with your kids. So the first one, and this is my top 5 list of supplements that kids need to have. And first one on the list is vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is actually very important for your immune system. It helps with something called the T regulatory cells. Now, T regulatory cells help with the adaptive immune system, and it's able to respond to different viruses that come into your system. So this is going to be important. Vitamin A and probiotics, these are going to be the two that are going to be working on your gut health. Now, with gut health, your immune system loves to live there. Now, here's why. Your immune system, about 80% of your immune system is in your gut. And here's the reason why. It is the things that you eat have a lot of germs on it, has viruses on it, has bacteria on it. And think about this. The first thing that happens when you eat your food, it gets bathed in hydrochloric acid in your stomach. So first thing that your food is exposed to is acid in your stomach, and it's going to chew up and break down as much as it can so that those viruses, that those bacteria, that the germs aren't able to take root in your system. The next place that food goes to is in the small and large intestines. And this is where a lot of the bacteria, the good bacteria, are living in your system. And they are fighting off whatever got through your stomach in the first place. So we do want to be able to support your gut with its immune system. So vitamin A does a large part of that. Also, what vitamin A does is also actually coat the cells so that it makes it harder for the viruses to get into the cell. And that is very important. Next one on my list is fish oils. Find a good omega-3. And this is why, because the omega-3s are going to help with the cell walls of your immune system. So like the neutrophils and the basophils, that actually is able to help support the cell wall so it's nice and fluid, and that is able to find those viruses and attack. So that is why we need a good fish oil. Probiotics, now here's back to the gut again. Probiotics is going to give your biome and what's in your gut its support that it needs. So now with probiotics, it does not have to be in pill form. I know some kids just do not enjoy swallowing pills, and I know that. So finding other ways to get a probiotic, and here's a good way, is finding those good fermented foods. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about sauerkraut, kefir, yogurt. Now, you got to be careful with yogurt because a lot of times they love to put a lot of sugars in yogurt. Pickles. Things that are pickled, things that are fermented, and those actually have good probiotics. So if you're not able to do it in pill form, you can certainly do it within your foods. And lastly, find yourself a good multivitamin. Now, with a multivitamin, be careful with just going to the store and picking something off the shelf, because sometimes the multivitamins that are out there for kids are not the best because it has fillers in it. But then also what I've seen lately are the multivitamins are covered in sugar, and which actually really surprises me because they want to, okay, number one, they want to try to appeal to the kids. But what they're doing is they're actually fighting against what the multivitamin is supposed to be doing in the first place. So we'll be talking about sugar here in a second. And here's what I would say. In my office, we do have vitamin A and vitamin D. We have a liquid form of this. And so liquid is able to be dropped in very, very easily. Next up, probiotics. And there are some chewable forms of these vitamins too. So If your son or daughter does not enjoy swallowing vitamins, find something else. Now, best case scenario would be if you're eating these foods. Eating foods that have the vitamin D, the vitamin A, the fish, the fermented foods, all the vegetables that have these vitamins. It'd be great if it was coming from food, but during nowadays, it's hard to do that sometimes, so that's where supplements have to come in play. So here's next on our list for what we can do, and it is sugars. Sugars are scary, and here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the processed sugars that are in foods. And what we have found is that when you have that amount of sugar, it's actually able to suppress the immune system. It's actually fighting against your immune system. And what we found is when you have it, it's actually able to suppress your immune system up to 5, 6, even 7 hours after you have sugar. So make sure you are cutting down on the processed sugar. And now, here's a big trick to finding the sugars, because companies nowadays are finding out that people want to stay away from them, so they're going to try and hide the sugars in the foods. And so when you look at that package and you see a word or some product, some ingredient, and it has "ose" on the end of it, that is a sugar. So I'm just talking about like glucose, sucrose, fructose, galactose, lactose, even like within milk. Milk has sugars in it too. So when you see "ose" on the end of it, that is a sugar, and they're trying to hide those sugars as well. So I would stay away from sugars, and that is something that's going to be for kids, especially for kids, since they have smaller bodies. Sugar is going to hit them harder than an adult would. So next up on my to-do list with being proactive in health is managing stress. And especially for kids. Kids have school stress, they've got social stress, family stress, sports stress. I mean, and to top that off, maybe some kids have all 4 of those on top. And so they are quite stressed out. And here's the problem. It is releasing cortisol, and cortisol does quite a number on your immune system. Now, cortisol in itself isn't bad. Your body does need cortisol, and it is typically used in the fight or flight response. So let's say you are being chased by a bear, and let's talk about your body. What is your body doing while you're being chased by a bear? So number 1, it is releasing cortisol, and it is going to make you be awake. During this time, your body's not worried about resting. It's not worried about falling asleep or relaxing. It is going to push you to be awake, alert, looking around, trying to escape the danger. Next up, it's going to create anxiety. Anxiety, and that's going to, think about it, I mean, you have anxiety when you are being chased by a bear, and that's one reason what cortisol does. Next up, it's going to slow your gut motility down. That means you're going to put the energy that your gut is using, and it's going to push it towards the muscles, the things that it's going to use the most during that situation. Next up, it's going to increase the heart rate. It's going to increase the heart rate so it can pump the blood, pump the oxygen out to the muscles. So during that time when you're being chased by a bear, I'm certainly glad cortisol is there to be pumping and flowing through your system to create the response it needs. But here's the problem. When you're stressed out, you're getting a consistent flow of cortisol. So even though you may be sitting there, or your son or daughter is sitting there, they're getting a constant flow of cortisol. So here's what we see with this. Kids who are not sleeping well. Kids who may have diarrhea or constipation. Kids who are consistently anxious about things. So those are the things that we are seeing with lots of cortisol in kids. Oh, and the last one that I remembered, think about this one. It also affects memory. This does quite a load on the hippocampus, and also after long periods of stress, the hippocampus also looks like Swiss cheese. It gets holes in it. It becomes very porous, and that is where you create memories. So if all of a sudden you see your son or daughter slipping in their grades, cortisol may be one of the reasons. So I would say address the stress because it's going to affect your immune system. Stress is also just going to hamper. So make sure you are addressing stress with your kids. Lastly, what I would say is get adjusted for your kids. Get your kids into the chiropractor, get them adjusted. And here's the reason why. Your nervous system controls your immune system. So your brain is the most important aspect of your body, and it is sending signals to your gut where the majority of your immune system lives. It's sending to the immune system, sending it to the thymus, sending it to everywhere. And if there is a point along the way going from your brain down to where those signals are being sent, that part is not going to be moving well. It's not going to be as well informed of what's going on. So make sure they're getting adjusted. All right, so here's where we're at. Making sure you have a good mindset. Make sure you're not in fear running away from something, but make sure you're hopeful chasing towards health. Get proactive in your kids' health. And it's tough to say that because being proactive needs to be a necessary thing we need to talk about. It is something where it is very easy to not be proactive. Being sick is easy. Being unhealthy is easy. But when you step forward, and it may be tough with some of these things, it may be tough pushing your kids towards health. But I want to let you know, it is going to be very helpful in the long run for your kids' health. They're going to be able to participate with more things. They're able to go out and cognitively be alert, and they are able to have those relationships and friendships that they are wanting to have. Now, if you guys are wanting more things about what you can do to be proactive, check us out on YouTube, Vallejo Health and Wellness. We are right now putting out about 2, maybe 3 videos a week about what people can do about being proactive. So definitely check us out. We have a lot of great information about all aspects of health, and we'd love it if you would stop on by, take a look at what you want, and certainly subscribe to that time. So here's our third one, and it is talking about your heart set. And it is a hard one because it is asking the question, why? Why are you so adamant about health? Why do you want your kids to be healthy? And it is something that all the things that are coming from this, so your mindset, your action steps, being proactive, is all based here. And you're going to be motivated when you answer that why question. Now, a lot of people don't ask that question. So, to give you an example, all the people that set New Year's resolutions, they jump into the gym, they start working out, and they're saying, hey, I'm going to get healthy, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to lose weight. And they get to about February, get to March, and they realize that health and being fit is hard. So they stop working out. They quit their memberships. Why? Well, they never had that underlying motivation. They never answered the why question. Why in the world were they there in the first place? And it has to be much deeper than being healthy. Why do you want to be healthy? And here are my 3. Ready for this one? I have 3 reasons, 3 why reasons to be healthy. For me, it is my faith. I want to be proactive and I want to be healthy so I can pursue my faith. Number 2, I want to be active in my family. I want to be healthy and I want to be able to make memories with my family, and I want to be able to love and serve on my family and lead my family. And number 3, my close friends. I want to be able to be healthy so I can be active and out in the world so I can be with my friends. And those are the three reasons, three heart sets that I have for myself to be healthy. And you see, when I have those heart sets, and you may have different ones, that's fine. But what I would say is find them, get those heart sets, and I'm going to let you know the mindset of chasing health, being proactive in your health, being proactive in the supplements and eating right and exercise and getting in to get adjusted, all of those are going to be easy. And I want to let you guys know, parents, your heart set is going to translate to your kids. So what I want to tell you, I want to say, talk about your why. Why in the world do you want to be healthy? Give your kids that same heart set. Because I want to let you know, when you talk about your heart set and you talk about the reasons why you are doing health, that's going to leach into your kids' lives. So when they go off to school, when they go off to their friends, when they participate in sports, when they go to high school, they start dating, when they go to college, get into their career, they start a family. All of that starts right now with you, the parent, and giving them your heart set. And it is, I agree that it is going to be a hard thing to do, but I want you to give that heart set so later down the road, they aren't just flippantly going around and choosing wrong health decisions. So give them the heart set, give them the basis for their health. Lastly, what I do want to convey to you guys is I do want to be able to help you guys. I do want to be a resource for you guys. I love this. I love kids. I want to make sure that these kids are doing well, healthy, they're thriving in the things that they want to do and the things that you want them to do. And at this point of the presentation, I would, open it up to the crowd for questions and answers. But in this time, I can't do that face to face. So if you do have a question about health, certainly check out our YouTube site. We have information chock full of videos for you to watch. But if you have a specific question, you can certainly email me. Pause the video right now. Write this email address down. It is drrchristiansen@valeowc.com. Now, I would love to talk to you. I would love to answer your questions. And if that is a little too much, you can certainly give us a call. I'm more than willing to have a conversation with you on the phone. So, my last big hurrah for you guys is, let's go through the 3 steps one more time. Get that heart set. Understand the why. Why are you doing health? From there, you're going to have a good mindset to chase health. Don't just be scared of running away from sickness, viruses, but chase after health. After that, the being proactive and the health steps and what you do with your health is going to have a better direction. You're going to be more motivated, and you're going to go much farther. Thank you for listening. We love you guys. God bless.